She texted, "I maxed out your credit card on a girl's trip to Miami. You make enough." I responded, "Glad you had fun." Then I reported the card as stolen and filed a police report with her texts as evidence. When two detectives showed up at her workplace, everything in my life that had been simmering in the background for the last year finally boiled over in the most surreal, almost darkly comical way, like the universe had paused, tilted its head, and said, "Buddy, this is going to hurt, but you need to wake up." And I guess this is where I should explain how the hell my girlfriend, now very much ex-girlfriend, managed to turn a simple argument about boundaries into a full-blown financial nightmare. But I'm still trying to wrap my own head around it. So bear with me, because I swear this all felt like one long fevered dream I never signed up for. Her name is Madison. And before anyone jumps in with a classic, "You ignored the red flags." Trust me, I know. I practically turned my entire life into a carnival of red flags and then bought a season pass to keep riding. Because for some reason I was convinced that love meant enduring chaos with a smile as long as the person causing the chaos occasionally said, "Thank you," or "You're amazing," with enough sweetness to momentarily erase the nausea. I met her at a friend's rooftop barbecue in Chicago about a year and a half ago. She was loud, magnetic, the type of person who could make a whole group laugh without trying. I was the opposite, quiet, observant, the guy who brings the extra folding chairs just in case. She made the first move. She said she liked my calm energy. Funny how what people admire in the beginning becomes the thing they weaponize later. At first, everything was perfect. We went on spontaneous trips, laughed until our stomachs hurt, and she'd curl against me at night like she'd finally found a safe place to land. I thought maybe she had. But small things started happening. Tiny fissures. She'd borrow my debit card to grab groceries, but the groceries were always champagne, sushi, beauty products, and some subscription box she forgot to cancel. Then she'd cry or pout if I mentioned it, saying, "You make more money than me, Austin. Why are you being weird about it?" Sometimes she'd accuse me of making her feel less than if I tried to set boundaries. The messed up thing? I'd apologize. I'd actually feel guilty for wanting basic respect. She had a way of turning herself into the victim so fast it gave me mental whiplash. But the credit card thing? That was different. She wasn't supposed to have access to that one. I kept it tucked away in a drawer because it had a higher limit. The kind of card you only use for emergencies or big purchases you plan for. I didn't even notice it was gone at first. I work long hours. Engineering isn't glamorous, but it keeps the rent paid. And she was between jobs again because apparently every job she got turned toxic after a few months. Then on a random Thursday afternoon, I got 3 separate notifications. $700 at a resort, $450 at a club, $980 at some high-end spa in Miami. Miami. I literally blinked at my phone, like maybe one of my apps glitched. I texted her, and hours later, while I was still at work trying not to combust in my cubicle, she sent that message. "I maxed out your credit card on a girl's trip to Miami. You make enough." Like she was telling me she'd picked up a loaf of bread. No apology, no explanation, just entitlement with a sprinkle of insult. And something inside me, some quiet part of me that I'd been ignoring for way too long, finally snapped awake. I didn't yell. I didn't rant. I didn't call her names or throw accusations. I wrote back, "Glad you had fun." And I meant it in the pettiest, most controlled way possible. Then I blocked her for exactly 15 minutes, walked straight to my supervisor's desk, requested an early break, went in my car, and sat there filing the stolen car report with a level of calm that felt like slipping into an alternate version of myself who wasn't tired or confused or tried to keep the peace. I uploaded screenshots of her messages. I explained everything. The rep was stunned. She said, "You have the clearest evidence I've ever seen of intentional financial abuse." Abuse. That word hit harder than I expected because I'd been avoiding it. But once someone else said it, all the little memories started rearranging themselves in my mind into something undeniable. The crying guilt trips, the manipulation, the constant excuses, the shifting blame, the way she'd bring up my childhood struggles just to make me feel small when she didn't get her way. It all clicked into place like a puzzle I didn't want to finish. The bank told me to file an official police report since the charges were so high. So I did. I printed everything, walked into the station, and told them the whole story. They asked questions. I answered honestly. They didn't laugh. They didn't shrug it off. They took it seriously. And that, to me, was almost as shocking as the charges themselves. Meanwhile, Madison kept posting Instagram stories of her and her friends at clubs, beaches, expensive restaurants, all using MY card. I didn't comment. I didn't reach out. I didn't warn her. And apparently, that's where the storm quietly formed behind the scenes. Fast forward 3 days. I'm sitting in my apartment that I pay for, that she only recently started contributing to in tiny, inconsistent amounts, when I get a call from a number I don't recognize. It was 2 detectives from the Financial Crimes Unit asking if I was home and if they could stop by to go over a few last details. I agreed, assuming they were just gathering more info. But then 15 minutes after we hung up, one of them called again and asked if I knew where Madison worked. I told them the salon. That was it. That was the moment everything veered into chaos. They said, "We'll follow up with her directly. Thank you. No more details. No warning." And I thought nothing would come of it because, come on, it's credit card fraud, not some grand heist. But then my phone started blowing up. First her coworker, then her manager, then Madison herself from a different number, because I'd already blocked her original one. The messages poured in like a broken faucet. "OH, my God, Austin, what did you do?" Detectives just walked in. "Are you seriously trying to get me arrested? You're ruining my life. Call them and fix this right now, or I swear." And I just sat there on my couch, staring at my phone buzzing like an angry hornet, thinking, she thinks I'm a problem? She stole from me. She treated my finances like her personal amusement park. She laughed about it. She bragged about it. And she genuinely believed there would be no consequences. She called me 30 times. I didn't pick up. She sent voice notes alternating between screaming, sobbing, threatening, and apologizing. Her manager texted me saying she'd been escorted out of the salon mid-shift. Her mother left me a voicemail calling me vindictive. Her sister told me I overreacted. Love how no one calls an overreaction when a man steals thousands from a woman, but when it's the other way around, suddenly it's a misunderstanding. Then she showed up at my apartment, banged on the door for nearly 10 minutes. I didn't open it. Eventually she left, yelling to the hallway that I was dead to her. Good, because I felt more alive than I had in months. After that, things calmed down for a bit. I got temporary credit back. The investigation continued. Madison tried every tactic: denial, manipulation, bargaining, pretending to be clueless, blaming her friends, claiming the car was basically shared anyway, saying the texts were sarcastic. But the investigators weren't idiots. They had timestamps, receipts, locations, screenshots, everything. And now here I am, writing this because last night I got the final update. The case is moving forward. She isn't arrested yet, but she will have to appear in court. And the funniest, saddest, most oddly liberating part of all this, I don't feel guilty anymore. Not even a little. I spent a year believing that love meant bending until you almost break. I thought patience would fix everything. I thought if I tried harder, calmed down more, swallowed my discomfort, and apologized for things that weren't my fault, eventually she'd see how much I cared and stop hurting me. But people don't change just because you give them a soft place to land. Some people only learn when the ground finally isn't soft anymore. So, yeah, when 2 detectives showed up at her workplace, that was the day my relationship finally, truly ended. Not when she stole the card. Not when she lied. Not when she screamed at me in the hallway. It ended the moment I realized I didn't deserve any of it. And if anyone reading this is sitting in a relationship that feels like a constant negotiation with someone who takes and takes and takes, please hear me. You can leave. You're allowed to say enough. You're allowed to call something what it is. And you are absolutely allowed to protect yourself, even if the person hurting you swore they loved you. I used to think walking away made you selfish. But now I think staying with someone who chips away at your soul bit by bit is the saddest kind of self-abandonment. I'm done abandoning myself. And I'm finally breathing again.